Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I was trying to do this on my other channel, but I'm doing it here as well, obviously, because it's my movie channel, so it definitely belongs here. So this is my 3 favorite scariest movies tag. I couldn't do just 3. There's just no way. So I did 5, and I'm going to talk about some honorable mentions as well. But anyway, here we go. Here's number 1 coming up. Okay, I'm going to start off with number 1 because I love this movie so much. I just can't wait to talk about it. Okay, so this movie is Nosferatu, and it was directed by a German director named Werner Herzog, and it stars Klaus Kinski as the vampire, as Dracula. And Isabelle Adjani, who's a very famous French actress, plays Lucy. It's based on the Bram Stoker Dracula story. And it is just an incredible, incredible movie. If you want to see a spooky vampire, take a look at this guy right here. Take a look at Klaus in this movie. Okay, so you see what I mean. He is a serious vampire. He's no pretty boy. He is the undead, personified. And I mean, he is just so brilliant in this movie. And Werner Herzog, the director, just does just an amazing job with the atmosphere. It's set in Europe. It's set, Transylvania, obviously. But I believe it's set in kind of Germany, Holland area. That's where he comes to when he gets loose from his castle and comes after Jonathan Harker's wife. And this movie is just so, creepy and suspenseful and just, brooding. The atmosphere it's just so stark and cold. There's this one incredible scene where the guy who plays Jonathan Harker is on his way to the castle to make this real estate deal with him, and he has to travel by foot across the country, and he's going through all these mountains and all these crevasses, and there's this really creepy, spooky music. It's just so well done. It's just, not only is it scary and creepy, but it's beautiful. It's really beautiful to look at. And it's just perfect atmosphere. So I highly recommend this film. It is a foreign film, but you can watch it in either with subtitles, or I believe they have a dubbed version. If you get the DVD or whatever, you have the option of watching it in English. It's a masterpiece. This movie is a masterpiece. There's no blood and guts. There's no crazy violence. It's just pure atmosphere, pure mood, pure dread. This movie is the dread is just all over this movie, and it is just a masterpiece. So I highly recommend Nosferatu. That's my number 1 for sure. Okay, number 2, and I really shouldn't be putting these in any particular order. Well, Nosferatu is definitely number 1, but the rest of these could be in any particular order. I'm not going to number them. The other one I'm going to talk about is The Grudge, and I'm talking about the original Grudge, the Japanese Grudge. It was remade in the U.S., which was okay. It was all right. Sarah Michelle Gellar was in that one. It was okay, not bad, but it does not compare to the Japanese version. Not at all. I mean, the Japanese version is very bloody, very violent, and very scary. I mean, this movie was really, really suspenseful, so well done. Japanese, they know how to do horror in a way that nobody else does it. It's very unique. It's very different. And a thing I've seen a lot in Japanese movies is where they have the girl with the long black hair in front of her face. You get that in this movie as well. And there's just all these there's all these different stories about all these characters that go to this house. The movie centers around this creepy house where this murder took place. And anybody who sets foot into this house is cursed, and they're going to die a horrible death. So you see each one of these people going through their own scenario, and it's just so great. Every single story, every single scenario is awesome. Oh, it's just an incredible movie. You have to see it. The Japanese version, check it out. You will love it. Okay, now this movie I know is not kind of technically a horror movie. I think actually it is. A lot of people think of it as a science fiction movie because it's set in outer space. But to me, it's definitely just a monster movie in outer space. And that's the Alien by Ridley Scott. The first Alien, not Alien 2, 3, 4, fucking 5, whatever. We're talking the original Alien. That movie, just when I saw it, I was just blown away by that movie. So scary, so terrifying, and that monster, the monster in that movie, if you haven't seen it, where have you been? It's just this monster was incredible. I think the guy who designed it was H.R. Geiger, who was this very famous, I don't know if he's German or, I think he's Swiss actually, and he died recently. Or not too long ago. But anyway, he designed this creature, this huge monster, and it's just one of the scariest monster I've ever seen in a movie. It's just an incredible film. Again, it's very dark. You know, they're on this spaceship, you know, in the middle of outer space. They're trapped with this rampaging alien in the spaceship, and one by one they all get, you know, picked off. There's a very famous scene, a chest burster scene. It's pretty bloody, pretty violent, but it is just, you know, incredible movie. And there's one scene in this movie where the captain of the ship has to go into this like air duct to try to kill it and try to kind of flesh it out, but no. It doesn't end up happening the way he wants it to. That's all I'm going to say. So if you have not seen the original Alien, you must. It is a fantastic scary movie. Even though it's set in outer space, I totally think of it as a horror movie. Okay, the next film I'm going to talk about is a classic film, and I'm sure many of you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you've heard of it. Rosemary's Baby, directed by Roman Polanski, starring Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes. I mean, this movie is just perfection. They're a New York couple. Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes are this couple living in New York in this brownstone apartment, and they just move into the apartment at the beginning of the movie. They're this young married couple. She wants to get pregnant, and they meet this old couple next door who turn out to be Satanists. And anyway, she gets pregnant, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens. If you haven't seen the movie, oh God, it's a must. It's a must see. It's so suspenseful. It's so well done. It's one of these movies that is not bloody. It's not gory. It's not violent, but like the dread underneath and there's plotting going on, and there's all kinds of like weird little things that happen. And the ending of the movie is just awesome. One of the scenes of her, a close up of her in the final scene of the movie is just it epitomizes the whole movie, and very famous scene. And it's a classic. It's a must see. Great story, great acting all around, and it's a masterpiece. Definitely a masterpiece. You have to see Rosemary's Baby. Okay, and the last movie I want to mention is a movie probably you haven't heard of, unfortunately, but you must see it because it is so good. It was directed by the same guy who did the Blair Witch Project, and it's called Lovely Molly. Okay, this movie is when I saw this at TIFF, the film festival, a couple of years ago. I was nearly pissing my pants in parts of the scenes of this movie because it was so scary. Again, it's about a young couple who move into this really, really like creepy old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere that was formerly owned by her father, who was like an abusive guy. Like there was all this stuff going on in her past. She had been abused by him, and she'd been a drug addict and all this stuff. And she moves into this house, and her husband is this trucker, so he's on the road a lot, and she's in this house a lot, and all kinds of weird, creepy stuff happens. And I mean, really, really creepy. Now, I'm sure those of you who've seen the Blair Witch Project know that was like the first kind of like found footage film where, they're just taking their cameras around and running around the woods and all this stuff. Well, there's a little bit of that in this movie, but nowhere near as much as in the Blair Witch Project. So I know a lot of people either hated or loved the Blair Witch Project. I was one of the people who loved it. But I know a lot of people hated it because of the jerky camera and all the screaming and all that stuff. A lot of people really didn't like it. I loved it. But anyway, there's not that much of that kind of jerky camera stuff going on, but there are a couple of scenes in this movie where that technique is used to great effect, where stuff is going on in the house and she's alone in there. And I mean, it is just so awesome, this movie. I don't know why, I don't know, I guess it didn't really get that much word of mouth, and that's why it didn't really get that much success, which is unfortunate, because it is so excellent. It's just really, really good. You guys have to trust me and watch it, because you will love it. It is really edge of your seat, your nails will be gripping the chair, kind of scary, creepy movie. I thought it was awesome. Okay, so that is my list of favorites that I had to mention. I knew I had to mention those movies. There's so many. I could go on and on. I'm just going to list a few titles for you. I'm not going to talk about them because I'd be talking forever. But the original Night of the Living Dead, classic. Dawn of the Dead as well, when they're in the mall with the zombies. That's another great movie. There's a movie called The Exorcism of Emily Rose that is really, really creepy. I actually just borrowed that movie from my brother when I was over with my family's for Thanksgiving. I just borrowed it and watched it again recently and was reminded of how scary and creepy that movie is. That is awesome. Awesome movie. What else? Psycho? Oh my god. Alfred Hitchcock classic. That's also one of my favorites. Any Hitchcock, but that one especially is really, really the shower scene. Oh my god. And Blair Witch Project again. That's another one that comes to mind. So anyway, that's my scary movie tag. Hope you guys enjoyed this. All the rest of you were tagged as well. So, enjoy Halloween, enjoy watching your creepy movies, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, guys.